The Somerset boat drop. £26.5 million in the dark. The ringleader, the man in the shadows. Before the Somerset coast became the stage for a £26.5 million cocaine bust. Before a rigid-hulled inflatable boat cut across pitch-black water toward a mothership. Before the arrests, the mugshots, and the headlines, there was Melios Delvina. He wasn't loud, he wasn't showy, he didn't live like a cartel boss or flaunt wealth on social media. He did the opposite. Delvina hid in plain sight. On the surface, he was just another Albanian living quietly in the UK. No flash cars, no designer watches, no nightclubs, no attention. But behind closed doors, he was connected to something much bigger. An international network capable of sourcing multi-ton cocaine shipments and orchestrating maritime drop-offs along European coastlines. He spoke several languages, he changed phones often, he never used the same marina twice. And when he travelled, he kept to quiet places, seaside towns, caravan parks, rural roads, places where no one asked questions. To police, he was a ghost. To traffickers, he was a bridge, a go-between, a fixer, a coordinator who didn't need armies of foot soldiers, just a handful of capable men to pull off a lucrative job. Delvina wasn't at the top of the global chain. The South American cartels sit above everyone, but he commanded enough respect within Albanian OCGs to access hundreds of kilos of high-purity cocaine, and enough knowledge to move it through Europe without drawing attention. He avoided violence. He avoided flashy spending. His weapon was logistics. And the Somerset job, the Watchet Marina drop, was supposed to be simple, clean, quiet, in and out under the cover of darkness. But even the best laid plans break when the wrong eyes are watching. A quiet coast with a dark secret. Watchet Marina, Somerset. A postcard setting, sailboats, fishing gear, retirees walking dogs along the quay. A place so normal it's almost invisible. That's what made it perfect. Small ports like Watchet aren't equipped with the heavy surveillance you find at major docks. No container scanners, no customs posts, no patrol vessels constantly sweeping the horizon. Just a few CCTV cameras and staff who assume every visitor is there to fish or take a boat out for a leisure ride. But in 2025, the marina gained attention it never wanted. Because this quiet stretch of coast has one thing criminals value more than anything: access to deep water quickly and quietly. It's the ideal point for bringing drugs ashore from a larger vessel waiting miles out. No radar sweeps, no busy shipping lanes, no crowds, just open sea and an unguarded path in. Organised crime groups have known this for years. The NCA had started to catch on, and that's how this operation began. The team assembles. Delvina needed a crew. Men he believed he could trust. He didn't need hardened mobsters. He needed competence, loyalty, and nerves. He brought in 3 men, Craig Nuttall, the experienced hand. At 51, Craig was older than most who get roped into drug runs. He wasn't a gangster. He was a working man. Hard graft background, practical skills. The kind of person who could operate a rigid-hulled, inflatable boat confidently at night, in rough water, without panicking. Craig wasn't living a glamorous life. Bills were due, work was inconsistent. Life wasn't easy. When someone like Delvina shows up, polite, calm, offering money that's life-changing, people like Craig listen. Raymond Nuttall, the brother who followed. Raymond, 47, followed his brother into the job. Not a criminal by nature, not reckless, just loyal. He trusted Craig, and Craig trusted Delvina. That was enough. If Craig handled the boat, Raymond would handle the gear, fuel cans, rope, navigation lights, the basics that make a midnight run look like a fishing trip if anyone starts asking questions. Anestis Tsepa, the young outsider. At 24, Greek national Anestis Tsepa was the wild card. Smart, quiet, technologically capable. He had the encrypted apps, the coded contacts, the instructions, and voice notes from the Albanian supplier network. He was the communications link, the one who knew exactly where to go, when to move, and how to avoid detection. He wasn't muscular, wasn't intimidating, but in modern trafficking, that doesn't matter. Criminal networks need brains more than brawn. Melios Delvina, the quiet operator, finally the ringleader himself, not on the boat, but ever present through instructions, planning, and coordination. Delvina believed he assembled the right team, smart enough, calm enough, hungry enough, and for a moment, it looked like he was right. Preparations at Watchet. A few days before the drop, locals saw the Nuttall brothers arrive at the marina. They told people they were there for fishing, a believable story, except fishermen don't usually. arrive days early, sit quietly in their car for long stretches, move fuel cans and hoses at odd hours, avoid speaking to almost everyone, launch late at night with full gear and no rods. Marina staff noticed something felt off, but not enough to raise alarms. People come and go, boats come and go. A weird fishing trip is still just a fishing trip, or so it seemed, but in the shadows, the NCA was already watching. Intelligence from encrypted message interceptions linked unknown figures to a potential maritime drop somewhere along the southwest coast. Watchet was one of several possibilities, so the surveillance began. Plainclothed officers, unmarked cars, long-lens cameras, thermal imaging. They weren't there to intervene. They were there to confirm, and confirmation came soon enough. The night of the run, 30th July 2025, just before 9 p.m. The Guzzler, the RHIB, was fueled, loaded and prepped. Craig Nuttall at the controls, Raymond handling gear, Tsepa tucked between them, phone in hand, receiving instructions from Delvina's network. They left Watchet Marina and slipped into open water. No lights, no chatter, just the engine hum pushing them toward a rendezvous point miles offshore. In his pocket, Tsepa had audio messages from the supplier. Greater than, follow the mothership, stay down, how long until you arrive, keep the phone on. Each message was coded but clear. This was a serious handover, multi-million-pound serious. Out at sea, the coastline disappeared. The horizon vanished. The water turned from dark blue to pure black. For a boat like the Guzzler, light, fast, agile, it's the perfect environment. It blends into the night, invisible unless you're right on top of it. But what the men on board didn't know was that the NCA had been tracking them from the moment they left the marina. A surveillance aircraft monitored their movement, covert maritime units tracked their speed and direction, and onshore teams prepared for their return. The trap was already closing. The mothership. Far out at sea, a larger vessel waited. Its crew didn't need to come ashore, didn't need to risk stepping foot in the UK, didn't need to engage with the Nuttall brothers at all, other than passing over the cargo. On board, 14 bale-sized packages tightly wrapped. Inside each bale, dozens of 1 kilo blocks, 322 kilograms total. Purity, 89%, higher than almost anything found on UK streets. This wasn't cut, this wasn't low quality, this was top-tier cartel product, fresh from origin. The Guzzler pulled alongside. Movements were quick, mechanical, practiced. Lift, pass, stack, cover, 15 minutes, maybe 20. Then the boats drifted apart, the mothership disappearing into the black, headed for international waters. The Guzzler turned back toward Somerset. The job was halfway done. The return. Around 1 a.m, the Nuttalls and Tsepa brought the Guzzler back toward Watchet Marina. Craig kept the speed steady, Raymond checked the bales. Tsepa messaged updates to the Albanian contact, unaware that every move was being watched. They reached the slipway. They hooked the boat to the trailer. Raymond prepared to winch the hull onto the ramp. It should have been over. Load the boat, drive north, deliver the cargo at a safe house, receive payment, life-changing money for all three. But the moment Raymond stepped off the hull, the NCA moved in. The arrests. The operation unfolded with military precision. Plainclothed officers surrounded the trailer. Armed units moved in from the quayside. Marked police blocked the exit. Craig froze. Raymond raised his hands instantly. Tsepa, young, shocked, tried to reach for his phone, but officers intercepted him. The men were cuffed, separated, read their rights. The boat was searched under floodlights. Within minutes, the officers found the bales. Then another discovery. A firearm. That changed everything. This wasn't just drug importation. It was drug importation with armed capability. The boat became evidence. The men became prisoners. Delvina became a wanted figure, and Watchet Marina became a crime scene. The investigation. Back at the evidence compound, agents unwrapped the bales. 322 blocks, each stamped, each vacuum sealed, each firm and pure. Street value, £26.5 million. Enough cocaine to supply multiple counties, enough to feed organised crime for months, enough to draw heavy sentences for everyone involved. Phones were decrypted, audio files recovered, cell tower mapping traced communications between the mothership, Albanian contacts, Tsepa, Delvina, the Nuttalls. The case was airtight. Delvina was arrested weeks later. Tsepa cracked first, revealing details. The Nuttall brothers followed. The network, once so careful, collapsed in days. The trial. Inside a UK courtroom, the men faced the weight of the evidence. Prosecutors laid out the mothership rendezvous, encrypted audio messages, surveillance tracking. the firearm, the purity levels, the marina behaviour, the financial motives, the role of Delvina as coordinator. Juries didn't take long. Craig Nuttall, 11 years 2 months. Raymond Nuttall, 11 years 3 months. Anestis Tsepa, 16 years. Melios Delvina, sentencing scheduled, expected to be severe. For a single night's work, they received decades behind bars. The aftermath. Watchet Marina went back to normal quickly. Fishing boats returned, lifeboat crews trained, tourists snapped photos. But beneath that normality is a story the locals won't forget. Because for one night, a quiet British harbour became the front line of an international drug war. And a man like Delvina, quiet, clever, hidden, learned the hardest truth in organised crime. No plan survives surveillance. The NCA called it a major victory. Albanian OCGS saw it as a costly setback. The southwest breathed easier, at least for now, but the sea is vast. Motherships still sail, and where there's coastline, there will always be another drop.